Welcome to the new and improved mortgage application process. In the past, you'd have to go through tons and tons of paperwork and drive to offices, and it was a whipping to get a mortgage. Who's heard the scary stories? Raise your hand, right? Now, the new and improved mortgage process looks like this. So, you think you might want to buy a house. The first thing you need to do is make sure that you qualify for financing. Shockingly, over 70% of credit reports contain errors, right? So there might be a little bit of legwork that you're going to need to do before you go house hunting. So the first thing to do is apply. Now, with our online application, it's really cool because it'll automatically verify your employment if you work for an employer that subscribes to the online verification. And if you're willing to put in your bank information, it'll also do a verification there too. And this is hugely helpful because now you know exactly how much you're going to be able to qualify within reason, right? We all want to be conservative. And it'll also verify your money that you're going to need for your down payment, which is also a pretty big deal, right? The next step is you'll get a letter in hand. And that's called, depending on your qualifications, it could be a pre-qual letter, a pre-approval letter, or conditionally approval letter, right? And some of it depends on how much you're willing to fill in and how much documentation you're willing to provide up front. You'll have a letter in hand. Now, once you get that letter in hand, you're going to get also a list of items that you're going to need for the lender side. So now you kind of break into two sides. You've got the lender side and you've got the realtor side. Now, on the lender side, you're going to want to get those trailing documentation. It's going to be part of your list, and you're going to want to get that usually within a week of getting approved for financing. Realtor side, you've got your letter in hand. Go out, find yourself an excellent realtor. Not all realtors are the same. Not all lenders are the same, right? Some are really, really, really good, and some aren't. Some are really bad. Some have no idea what they're doing, and you're going to run across certain people like that, right? Not everybody in an industry is a pro, just so you know. So you get that letter, you're out looking for homes with a real estate agent. You find a home. This is the house that you love. You're going to make an offer. Now, you can make an offer on a few different homes and only accept the one that is your dream house, but you're going to get out there and you're going to want to make some offers. In this market, it's a pretty hot market. You might have to make offers on multiple homes before you get something. Now, as soon as somebody accepts your offer, you're going to go into something called a purchase contract. Now, if you're working with a good agent, they're going to make sure that the terms are very favorable for you, right? You're going to be well protected and you're going to be well looked after. Same thing on the mortgage side. If you have a good mortgage representative, they're going to look after you and they're going to make sure that you're well taken care of, right? Rates are not a determining factor if you're going to go with a good mortgage or realtor person. Most lenders and realtors are about the same pricing. Go with a person that cares the most about yours truly, right? That's the biggest differentiator, right? Now you're under contract and now the fun begins because you're going to have typically 30 days or less to make sure all of your documentation is in, make sure appraisal's done, inspections are done, any quirks that you might have had on your credit score, anything that might delay the financing, you're going to have to hustle and make sure this happens quick. I always recommend doing it sooner than later. Do not wait to week 3 and say, oh, dang, man, maybe I should have gotten this stuff together. Do it all in week 1. Anything you can possibly get done in week 1, maybe the first 14 days, knock it out as quickly as you can. You can thank me later, right? So get all of your docs to your lender. Make sure you get anything that you need to your realtor. Get those inspections out there ASAP, right? Make sure that appraisal gets ordered. If you need a survey, make sure that survey gets ordered. Make sure you're set up with a good title company, right? They're a little bit less involved than the lender and the realtor, but still a good title company is worth their weight in gold. And once you submit everything in, you're going to be done and clear sailing, right? No. So as soon as that loan gets through underwriting, you're going to get a whole new list of like different things that you're going to need to provide. Depending on your qualifications and how good your lender is determines how long or how short that list is. And here's the other critical part. As soon as you get that list, and it's going to probably come in week 2, And it's going to be hopefully just house cleaning items. If your lender did a good job in taking a good application from you and you did a good job of providing paperwork up front, it should be pretty easy. Get those things back in quick, like super quick, fast, right? And that way your loan's still going along. Now, maybe in the meanwhile, that inspection's come back. And then you've got a couple of quirks on that inspection. Maybe the seller has to repair the kitchen sink. That's fine. Still get all of your documentation. Anticipate this going through at 100 miles an hour. So just get it all taken care of while you're waiting for the seller to remedy any items that need to be remedied. Now, here's a very, very important part. Before you go to closing, 3 days, you're going to get something called a closing disclosure. And depending on your lender, it's going to be emailed to you. All right. That's something you're going to, don't just sign it. Please don't just sign it, because those are your final numbers for closing, and we don't want any surprises at the closing table. The first thing that you want to do is you want to look it over for accuracy. Make sure it looks good, make sure all the terms are there, and the second thing you want to do is you're going to want to call your lender. This is critically important, because you're going to want to go through each one of these line items and make sure that they're 110% correct, and if there's any errors, you got to get them done then. Right? You cannot wait to closing. Do not wait to closing, please. Right? Because once you get to closing, it's too late, and you might miss out on your home, or you might get unfavorable terms, or if you're not working with somebody who's honest, that's when they can take advantage of you, and it's sad, but it's true, and it happens quite a bit in this industry, and you want to make sure that that doesn't happen to you. Right? So make sure all those things are correct, and also go back to the realtor and make sure at that point in time, when you get that closing disclosure, this means final mile. This is the end of the road. Make sure your inspection's good. Make sure that they've remedied it. Do a walkthrough of the home, right? Just because it looked great 30 days ago doesn't mean that, they're, moving out the couch and they knocked a hole in the wall, right? Just go through, take a quick look at the house, a final inspection, make sure it's all nice. You could thank me later. It'll be well worth your time, right? Maybe even take some measurements for some carpet if you're going to put that in there. But make an excuse to go out there and take a look at the home. And then your final step is closing. Now, you're going to go to a title company for closing. Now, I know all this time you've been working with a realtor. You see them all the time. You've talked to your lender 100 times on the phone. But now you got a completely different party in their your title company. And you can sometimes close at your real estate office or your lender, but 9 times out of 10, you're going to close at a title company. They're really great people, but here's the thing. Your title agent probably doesn't know any of the terms of your loan or anything that you had agreed on outside of the contract with your agent, right? So good news is that typically you've got an agent there, and hopefully you've got your lender there too. Or if you don't have both of them there at closing with you, they're available to you via phone, right? That way, if you have any questions, because this paperwork still is like this. I mean, they kill forests for these closings. It's crazy. Some technologies get into the e-document closing, which is good, but I mean, you're literally, especially if you're selling a house and buying a house, man, you might get carpal tunnel by the end of the day. I'm just kidding about the carpal tunnel stuff. Don't freak out. It's all good. You might need a time to kind of brain dump after all that information. But go through your closing docs, right? Make sure that, most of it's going to be your standard stuff. 90% of it's government regulated anyways, right? But look at the numbers one last time. Right, that's what the numbers and the terms are the two things that are going to get you in the long run, right? That determines what your monthly payment is. That determines the amortization of your loan. It's really critically important. So don't skip that step. It's so tempting to go into closing and just because it's been a long process. You've been doing this for 30 days. You're done. You don't want to deal with it anymore, right? But take your time. Go through the closing, ask intelligent questions. Anything is an intelligent question, right? I've been in the business for over a decade, and there's new stuff every day, new forms that are added. other old forms that are taken out. There's always a good question to ask. Ask lots of questions. So there you go. There's the life of a home buying process. Once you close, you typically get the keys later that day at title. Once your loan funds is typically same day. If you're late closing, it might be the following day. You get to move into your home and, I don't know, make it yours. Make some happy memories. If you have any questions, give us a call anytime. Talk to you soon. Bye.